What's going on YouTube? Barrymore here with another profile on Ulforceveedramon. And I gotta tell you guys, today I am beyond ecstatic because I just participated in the regionals for the day and I got second place, and with none other than with Ulforce. When this set came out, BT11, I set out on a mission that I was gonna top some sort of tournament with Ulforce. I was determined. I was just like, I need to play this deck. This is my favorite, one of my favorite Digimons. Top two being Alphamon and Ulforce. And I was like, this deck is gonna take me to the top. And sure enough, here it did. Didn't give me first place, but I did top 8 and getting second place. And that to me was just an accomplishment in itself. Just being able to do it with this deck. There was over 450 players, a little bit over that, but we went 9 rounds, and it was a long day. I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty tired, but it was a good experience, very good experience. 9 rounds, win X1, only got beat by a blue flare in the 8th round, but managed to get second place. And I just want to share you guys my profile and what I used, and maybe you guys could play it. I know there's a regional tomorrow. Maybe you guys could play it. Something similar to this if you guys are Ulforce fans and you guys are wanting to play this deck. But he got maybe to give you some ideas. But let's go ahead and get into the deck profile and what I played, and I'll tell you why I played it and my choices. So starting off with the eggs, it's going to be, put this aside, 4 Wanyamons. So Wanyamons, pretty standard egg. There's probably the best egg for any blue deck right now, because simply on attack, if you have a tamer, you get to draw a card. Very easy to pull off, especially in a deck that's tamer heavy like Ulforce. You're always going to be getting draws off of these babies right here. Going on to the rookies, we play 4 of the new BT11 Vmons. This is your searcher. You on play, you search the top 3. You get a Vidra, and a tamer. So you get to get both, not just one. But you get to search your top 3, and then you get to get, like I said, a Veedramon. Could be Ulforce, could be Arrow Veedramon, or regular, just a level 4 Veedramon, and then you get to add any blue tamer. Inheritable, whenever you play a tamer, you get a memory. So whenever you're going into your Ulforce plays and you're dropping tamers or whatnot, you're getting back memory. That way you can keep your turn. So mandatory 4 play this. I play 4 of the EX1 Veedramon or Vmons. This one doesn't have any on plays or any on the Wind Digivolving effects, but it does have an inheritable of whenever you unsuspend once per turn, you do get a memory back during your turn. So this is one of the rookies this one or this rookie are the one you want to be in Digivolving in the raising area every single time, turn 1 if you can. So you always want to make sure you have one of these or one of these 2. I'm running 2 of the starter deck Vmons. This one doesn't come up as much. Inheritable, if you have 7 or fewer cards in your hand on attack, you get to draw a card. It comes up every now and then if you go into an Ulforce like turn 2 or turn 3, and you have a low amount of cards in your hand because you played a tamer like Arena, so now you're down to like 6-7 cards. Your first swing, you activate this before you activate your Wanyamon, because if you activate your Wanyamon and you get to 8 cards, this one is going to be you're not going to be able to activate this trigger. The Wind Digivolving effect, whenever they have a level 6 or higher, it didn't really come up at all. It's nice to have, but it's not something you want to try to do if you don't need to, because for the most part, they're probably gonna give you 3 or maybe less, and then you're gonna Digivolve into an Ulforce on top of this card, and you're gonna drop a tamer, and then that's it. Like the most you could do is probably just get like Arena with blocker evade. Sometimes that'll help you, but for the most part, you want to just use it for the inheritable. And then the last 2 rookies I play are 2 Madokis. This one came up a lot, especially during this regional where Murdercross was a thing, and it was just they were just gaining memories with blinding rays and gravity crushes. You're blocking that from this, so the only way for them to answer this is if they drop a Darulamon to minus 3,000. But for the most part, if you can choke them to 2 or 1, and they don't have a Zenjiro, they're dropping the yellow Digimon or Tamer to pop this in passing turn. And by that time, you might have like a Ulforce, and you can go into your plays and bounce whatever they have. So only 2 Madokis. On to the level 4, so I play 4 of the BT11Veedramons. This one's the regular effect, the once per turn, your turn when you drop a tamer and you draw a card. It did come up quite a bit actually, because there were times, especially against Murdercross, they don't play hard removal. So having a Veedramon on the field against a Murdercross, and then playing like Arena to give him block evade and able to give you that draw, because maybe you're missing a level 3 or something, or you don't want to, whatever. It did actually come up quite a bit. Now, I don't recommend doing anything against like black or gray or any kind of like Beelzemon like that have removal, because you want to, you don't want your level 4 to get deleted and you have nothing in raising. But it did come up against the Murdercross, so it's like I said, they don't play much hard removal, especially the Murdercross, because they don't play like the X7s or anything. So it's almost always safe to have this out on the field against that deck. But against certain decks, you might want to watch out. Anyways, the Inheritable does give you an extra memory. It's the same thing as the BT11 Vmon. It gives you an extra memory if you drop a tamer. Helps you keep plays, keeps your turn whenever you're going into your Ulforce. Now, I do run the Leomon package. I only played 3. 3 was enough for me to see it almost every game. I think there was one game when I didn't see a Leomon. I really needed it. But I still ended up winning that match. But it would have helped out if he was out on the field, and I wouldn't be stressing so much about leaving only one blocker with Ulforce on the field. But anyways, this guy is just he's very annoying. That's all I gotta say. He's super annoying for your opponent, because not only do you gain 2 memory on deletion, but he becomes a blocker when you have a tamer on the field. And I mean, like, you play Ulforce, so you're always gonna have tamers for the most part. But you do gain 2 memory, and then you draw a card whenever he gets deleted. So most of the time, you're giving them 2 or 3 memory. If they have a memory tamer or whatever, they're swinging security. You can either choose to block and delete this guy, and you gain 2 memory, and that reduces the amount of plays they can do. Or you can just you can also just block the smaller rookies in the beginning of the match, like at turn 1 or 2. You can just you can Digivolve into a rookie, and then Digivolve into him, passing over turn 2. Then when it comes back to their turn, you can raise this guy, have him out on the field, drop a tamer, and then he's there protecting your board. They don't want to swing because they're going to lose a rookie, or they don't want to swing because they're going to lose 2 memory and give you a draw, then most likely pass turn. But at three, he was good. I didn't have a problem. I didn't need to see 4. I didn't need to see 2. 3 was good enough for me. The last 3 champions that I play are 3 Kumamons. This is basically your hybrid for game. The stripping one source didn't come up as much today, but it does come up a lot, especially against like Machine-Dramon. You can strip off a level 5 and stop them from having so many negates or whatever. And it give you a strip off the blocker if they have it underneath, and that way there won't be a blocker. But it doesn't come up too much against most of the other decks. Not that I can think of off the bat, but I mean, it's still a good hybrid for game, or just to strip. On to level 5s, I play 4 of the new Ulforceveedramons from BT11. So this one is your searcher for tamers. If you're running dry on searchers, you suspend him during your main phase, and he searches the top 3. He doesn't add 1 tamer; he adds all 3 if you hit all 3, or if he doesn't hit any if you don't if you don't hit any. But he gets to add all tamers, all blue tamers that you search off of his effect. Inheritable, if you have Arena on the field and you attack, you can activate her on play. So when you have your BT11 Arena, and let's say you didn't drop Arena that turn, but you have one on the field and you went into Ulforce, well, Ulforce is not going to have blocker evade, but once you attack, he's going to get blocker evade with Ulforceveedramon. So Inheritable is pretty good. So it's good to do whenever you need to have that blocker evade. Next 3 that we play, the last 3 are the Ulforceveedramons from the starter deck. This one has jamming innately. Whenever you swing, it has jamming. This is a good way to go into your Ulforce, and you suspend your Ulforce by swinging, or you suspend your Ulforceveedramon by swinging security. For the most part, you swing safely because it has jamming. Unless you hit an option card, and I mean, if you hit a tamer, it's whatever. But you go swing into your opponent, and now you're suspended. So you can go into your Ulforce and unsuspend, do your plays, bounce something and get a tamer on the field. And Inheritable, if you have 8 or more cards in your hand, you get an extra security check. This one came up a lot during the the Merva part decks, because they're putting you on a timer just as much as you're putting them on a timer. And with this one, you're being super aggressive. And like I was saying earlier, Merva they don't play hard removal. The most they play is a 12k Mervamon or of Death X. But if you're swinging with jamming, it doesn't matter because you're gonna live either way. And then you're going into your Ulforce, and you're getting 2 checks, and you're most likely to have blocker evade because arena. Then you unsuspend, swing, and if you hit a Death X or a Mervamon, if you're not over 12k, or if you hit the Death X at 15k, you just suspend your Ulforce to evade, and you still getting your 2 checks. And then you drop another tamer to restand him, do another 2 checks. And this was a way for me to beat Mervacross super fast before they can do their blinding rays and their gravity crushes. So seeing it at 3, it's not, it was good for me. I didn't need to see anymore. Now on to the big boy himself, Ulforce. You play 4 of course, because he's the bread and butter. He's the boss monster. You need to get him. Anyways, there was a few times where I didn't see him, which kind of sucked because those are the matches that I lost. But if I can see my lineup consisting of a Veedramon, and an Ulforceveedramon, obviously, and I get a cross Ulforce with Arena, most of the time that is GG. I'm not gonna lie, because this is the combos you get to do with Ulforce and just playing tamers on suspending, is just crazy with him and Arena. And the amount of memory gain you're getting is just crazy, because it's just, you get so much value off of Ulforce's Digivolving effect. Just playing tamer after tamer, you're getting memories worth of just playing tamers, especially if you have a Jerry, which, spoiler alert, I do play Jerry's because of the Leomon. I mean, you playing a Jerry off of his Digivolving effect. That's a 4-cost tamer that drops a 6-cost Leomon. You're getting 10 memories worth of memory just off of that play alone. And I know a lot of people are very, some like the Leomon package, some don't like it, but I love it. Just being able to get 10 memories worth of bodies on the field is just crazy good. And he's a blocker. I mean, there's not much more else you could ask off of this Leomon in this deck because of the way that you can play him out. But this is just, he once per turn you get to unsuspend. When you unsuspend, you're bouncing a level 3 and you're adding 1 level for each tamer. And by the time you go into Ulforce, you're having at least 2 to 3 tamers out on the field. So you're already bouncing level 6s. So this deck just it gets around a lot of bodies, especially if you're playing against like purple that have like, things that have retaliation or whatnot. You're just bouncing them and they're not even, it's not even a problem anymore, because you're swinging and bouncing, and then that's it, going in for game. And then the other level 6 that I played was the Mirage Gagumon. I saw this card being played in one of the I believe one of the regionals. I forgot how long ago, but it at first I was kind of skeptical. I was like, Mirage Gagumon in an Ulforce deck, you're never gonna be able to search off of it, or get it from a Vmon searches or whatever. But he actually came in clutch pretty, like, a good amount of times against Crossheart, Mervaheart mostly, because if you Digivolve into this guy and they don't have anything to bounce, you can bounce level 5 or lower. If they don't have anything to bounce, you're bouncing a security to their hand, and then for every 4 cards in their hand, you're getting a memory. And that's not just on your turn. That's once per turn, but it's not just on your turn. It's on their turn too. And against Crossheart or Mervaheart or whatever, they swing with that rookie with Pigmon, they're drawing a card. They're giving you memory. So by the time that this guy's out, they most likely have 8 or more cards. I mean, you're getting so much value off this guy, and just like stopping them from doing so many plays because of the fact that they have to give you memory if they can't answer this. And again, they don't play hard removal. So they just, this is just, you just leave this guy on the field until you're ready to swing with him for game, whenever you have it. Because when it comes back to your turn, if you can get another Ulforce out, not only are you getting memory from your Ulforce, your Veedramons, your Vmons, and your Arenas, you're getting memory from that bounce that you do whenever you bring that card that you bounce with Ulforce back to hand. He's giving you memory for that too. I wish I could play this at 2, and I was playing it at 2 for a bit, but I think 1 is good. I mean, you draw so much off this deck that you can almost always recycle it, and then even if you bomb deck it, you're probably going to see it again, because sometimes matches last that long. But he's a 1 of for now. And then we're getting onto our tamers. Of course, you're going to play the 4 Renas. The Renas are just, this card it's so good. On play, you're giving your Vs, not V-Dras, V, anything with V, block or evade. So if you have a VMon on the field and you need to have a blocker for the next turn, you drop this, block or evade. Or if they, they're going to delete it or whatnot, you have block or evade on him. But anyways, once per turn, whenever one of your Vs or V-Dras suspends, you get to activate their wind digivolving effect. So that goes in conjunction with, Ulforce. You're suspending Ulforce to attack, and you're suspending Rena to do his wind digivolving effect, which will then play you a tamer, which could play another Rena, and then unsuspend him. You bounce something if you already have it bounce already something, and then you're ready. You're getting ready again to either evade or swing again, because if you hit a high DP Digimon that's higher than him after unsuspending with Rena, you just evade it and suspend it. And if you have 2 Renas on the field and you suspended the first one, once you evade, you can suspend the second one to run suspend and then drop another tamer. And if you have another Rena, or if you have another tamer, you just play that. But this card is not. It's just too good. And once per turn, when you unsuspend any blue Digimon, you get a memory. So if it's their turn and you block with the Ulforce, or you block with a Veedramon, or even a Leomon, and it comes back to your turn, they didn't destroy that Digimon, you get a memory off of that at the beginning of turn when you unsuspend. Now, this card does so much for this deck. It's just crazy how much value you get off of one tamer. I'm playing 2 Davises. Davis is just your standard search and memory setter. On play, you get to search the top 3 and add a blue Digimon or green, but you don't play green in this deck, so it just goes up for the blue. But a good way to go into your Ulforce and you drop this for free. You get 3. You get to search, and then you get your 3 memory every turn at the beginning of your turn. Pretty standard. And then I am playing 4 of the Tai V Tamers. This is when you have a Veedramon on the field, you get to suspend it. It gets 1,000 DP, or you get to draw a card. This is just a really cheap tamer in case you have to unsuspend your Ulforce because you have to evade it on a swing. That way you're not passing over a bunch of memory with like a 4-cost Davis or whatnot. And then sometimes you can even keep turn and then unsuspend your Ulforce, swing again after you do your draw, or give them 1,000 DP, and then you can even drop another one, and you can just keep dropping them as long as you have the memory, which this is how most of the time you're going to go for games, by dropping these guys off of the Renas or just playing them for 2. Definitely recommend playing 4 of these guys, because you get so much value off of that 2-drop tamer. Now this one, I'm playing 3 Jerrys. So I'm playing 3 Leos and 3 Jerrys. This one I was originally playing 2 Jerrys, and then last minute I switched it out to 3 because I had 2 Mirage Gagumons. And I'm actually very glad I switched it out, because the Jerrys came up so much during the tournament, because you're not only dropping Leomons while on play, you're also getting draws whenever they swing. So whenever they swing with anything, you tap this and you draw a card. So much value off of this card by dropping a Leomon. I don't understand when people say that this deck does not need Leomon. It doesn't need it, but it helps a lot. Just getting a blocker out with a Jerry for free is just so much value. I know it can be bricky. I understand that, but with mulligans helped this deck a lot. Just like it helped any other 1-stack decks a lot, because just being able to get a bad hand and then just reshuffling, and not even putting all those cards at the bottom was just such a great move on Bandai, because it helps so many decks out to be able to not brick. I don't know how many times I had to mulligan today to get rid of bad hands, because there were times where I didn't have a rookie, or there were times where I had too many rookies and nothing else, and I had to mulligan and hope for another better hand. I think that didn't work out for me one time when I had like 4 rookies and a tamer, and I ended up shuffling and I didn't draw another rookie, so that kind of screwed me. I think I lost that match, that round or whatever, that match. But anyways, off topic. Mulligans helped this deck a lot, and then with the Jerrys, you're just able to play it Leomon for free off of it. It's just so much value off of that. I played 1 Sora and Matt. This came up, it didn't come up as much because it's just a 1-of, but when it does come up and it's out on the field, it can do some work, because if you have let's say you have a Davis on the field, memory setter, or for some reason they pass you 3, and then you have 8 cards in hand and they have 8 cards in hand, and you go to 5, you have enough to go into Ulforce if you have nothing on the field. That let's say they cleared your board for some reason, and you have a hybrid. You got 5 memory. You go hybrid, Ulforceveedramon, and then do your tap or swing if you have this one for free swing, and then you're going into an Ulforce just off of that 5 memory. You can just sacrifice one of your tamers that you're not going to need. Not necessarily this one, but any, you could just do a regular Ty-V tamer or whatever. But that one, off of 5 memory, you're going into an Ulforce or even a Mirage Gagamon or whatnot. And then that way you can answer, whatever there's on their board, if you can bounce it or whatever. But this is it's a good card too, because sometimes they have pesky rookies, like they have their own Madoki or any kind of memory blocker, like a Gazi. Instead of just bouncing the Gazi, you can also bounce the Gazi or the Madoki on top of whatever else is on their board. Because when you swing with Ulforce and then you unsuspend it, even if you play this off of Ulforce's effect, this is recognizing Ulforce as being unsuspended as it comes out. So you suspend this to bounce the rookie on top of what you bounce off of Ulforce. I was playing this at 2, and it was actually really good, but I decided to go back to the Jerry package and Leomon, because I wasn't playing that for a while, and I was playing more 2 of these and then like different tamers. I forgot which one. I think I was playing a Tommy at one point, but I just kept it at 1 for now. And it's pretty good. It does some work. The last tamer I played is just 1 Rena. This is the old Rena from BT2. On play, you get to search the top 3, and you get a V. It doesn't have to be a V-Dra. You just get a V Digimon. Veedramon, Ulforceveedramon, or Ulforceveedramon. And then whenever you attack, you get 1,000 DP by suspending it with one of your blue Digimon. It doesn't have to be even a V Digimon. It could just be any blue Digimon. There were times where against Cross Heart or Merva Heart, they had a Ballistamon on the field, and I had a Leo. Swung in with 4, they're both equal, but I suspended this, keeping my Leomon alive, drawing off the Wannymon, and I had 3 memories, so I went into a Ulforceveedramon off of him being suspended, and then went into No Force, unsuspended, and bounced off his other Digimon that was on the field. So this actually came up pretty good amount of times, because it's also safely swing 13k over, into security whenever you're playing against, again, Merva Heart, because they have Mervamons are 12k. So you can safely swing into security and not worry about being hit into a Merva Heart or Mervamon and dying. Then it also helps with the Ulforceveedramon inheritable, because you can search her on play again. So you can search for another 3, and maybe if you're missing a Vmon or a Veedramon or whatever for your raising, you can search it off of her with Ulforceveedramon's effect. And the last option, the only option I play actually, is Ice Wall, because Ice Wall is broken. Why wouldn't I play? This saved me a lot of times, actually. Especially, I think in round 7, playing Cross Heart, Merva Heart, and I ended up using this to, because he was about to do his shenanigans with the, all his swings that they do. But I used this, and he was just like, he couldn't do anything. He was just, he told me at the end of the match, like, your Ice Wall won you the game. It screwed me over so hard. This card is so broken, and you can see why it was limited at 1. Because when you swing, you're losing 2 memory. You're not even gaining the memory. Like the person who plays it is not gaining the memory. You're losing it. So Madoki or Gazimon are not going to affect this card at all, because you're just losing the memory. So this is a mandatory in any blue deck to me. If you ask me, like, you gotta play it. But that's the deck, guys. This is what got me 2nd place, and I mean, I could not have been happier with my choice today. It was a fun experience, and I really enjoyed it a lot. It was very frustrating though. It was almost 10 hours of playtime, and it was just a lot of sitting down, because I'm sitting down all day and I'm tired. But it was well worth it. Just getting my invite. I don't have to worry about going to another regionals and trying to go try to get an invite, because I already got mine, and I'm just so happy about that. And I can't wait to go to finals for next year, because I didn't get to go last year. I really didn't I guess I really didn't try that much, but anyways, I am so excited and I can't wait for next year. But anyways, that's gonna be my profile, guys. Let me know what you guys think, and if you guys are planning on playing this deck tomorrow, or if you guys are planning on playing Ulforce, which I will have an updated profile on when Ulforce X comes out. I know pre-release is happening right now, but I haven't gotten my hands on any. But I will be coming up with a deck profile with Ulforce, so stay tuned. Make sure you like, subscribe, and let me know what you guys think about the deck profile. Appreciate your guys' time.